Hi, I'm Philip Burling, and if you're watching this, you have a child of yours in my classroom for 6th grade science, STEM, or you're one of my students. So let's take a look at what it's going to be like to be in my classroom this year, how things operate, and a little bit more about me. I'll go ahead and start with myself. I am an Iowa native, born and raised, and fifth generation Iowa grad. Moved to Augusta, Georgia. Spent 11 years there because of my wife's job. Then my wife's job took us here to Arizona last year in June. And I have 3 little boys. They're all going next door to Cerritos. And some things I like to do on my free time besides spend time with my family is like mountain biking and working out and working with plants, which I'm really excited with the cactus here in Arizona. It's just something I've never been able to do before. So it's a little fun side note. Technology in my room is a big deal. I really highly leverage technology and I use it in my room. So if you have a smartphone, iPad, some kind of a tablet, laptop, you're more welcome to bring those things in and use them in a room as I instruct you to. Just gotta be careful, with those things because I'm not responsible for them. You are. All of my digital content really is going to be accessed through Google Classroom. So if you're not familiar with Google Classroom right now, you need to get familiar with it. You have a Kyrene account. It should be something you're familiar with from 5th grade in elementary school. If you're new to the district, or maybe just by chance, the elementary school you came from, you just didn't utilize it. Maybe they weren't very technology based. Come see me, and I'll square you away and get you up to speed on how to access it and get into it. And I'll make some videos and post those later, so that you can watch those and kind of just see how it works. I use EdSite a lot. This is where I post tests, worksheets, lab write-ups. I use Glogster when I can. It's been blocked in the past, so we'll see if we can do this here. I have a YouTube channel. So I do this thing called flipped lessons, where I will teach a lesson in the class, and our main time is doing labs and one-on-one and working groups and stuff. So what I do is I move some of the note-taking and some of the previewing of like how to do the lab. I move that to the house, and I turn it into like a 5-minute video of like, hey, this is what the lab's gonna be tomorrow. This is what your notes of. This is what it looks like. These are the steps. Or hey, we got done with the lab and we had that great discussion. Make sure you have these particular notes written down in your science notebook, because we do keep a science notebook with notes in there that you're responsible. It's gonna help you on your test. And you'll watch the video for 5 minutes or so and you'll write your notes down. Now, there's a couple reasons I do this. The main reason I do it is it gives some differentiation, where if you have an education plan where you need accommodations or you don't need accommodations, it gives you the ability, if you can't take notes quickly or you just move at a different pace, or you want to review what's going on in class, you can stop me, you can pause me, you can rewind me, you can play it over and over again until you really get a grasp and understanding of what that information is. And it also provides the parents and guardians an ability to see exactly what's going on in class, be part of a lesson. So if you do need help, your parents have access to a resource that is basically the lesson itself. And then when you come into class, you might have a lot more time to utilize towards working in labs and working on hands-on group activities, which is hugely beneficial for me. I do use Flipgrid, which is awesome. This is going to be Flipgrid allows me, I push it out through Google Classroom. Everything goes through Google Classroom. So it is my platform. It's big. That's the #1 touchstone. And I pose a question, and students can video their response, through a smartphone, the camera, computer, laptop, iPad, and then they send it to me. I can look at it, so they can orally, tell me if they understand something. And again, this is great for accommodations for students, and it's just another fun and different way to share what you've learned and hold you accountable. And I'll use all of these, and I have some other ones that would, but this was kind of just a good sampling. But this would be something to write down, or if you have a computer or a phone, if you kind of want to put that in your browser as a shortcut to get to my YouTube channel, it's a tinyurl.com/Burtling2. That'll be an easy way to do it instead of those crazy long URLs. And that was just one you can kind of bookmark for yourselves. Remind, this is a way to contact me. If you're in my science class, you'll use this particular Remind and join this group. And all you have to do is you text to this, you use this number, 81010, you text Philip B. and you'll be joining that group. If you're in my STEM class, you'll do the same thing, but instead of Phil B, you'll be texting 62 3G 3H. I don't know why they made that more complicated, but they decided to do it that way. Either way, this is a way I like to communicate with people. When you text me, it just comes up as a text, then I can text back, and I try to be responsive as I can. But you can also email me on the email address here. Leave a message at the school, and if you want to call the school. But I'll be honest with you, if you text me on Remind or email me, either one will be fine. You can join as a parent. You can do the Remind. If you're okay with your student who has a smartphone, join the Remind and being able to communicate with. That's fine with me. I think they'll pop up with you have parent permission, 13 years or older. As long as you have permission and you give your kids permission to do it, that's fine with me too. But it's a nice way to get in contact with me, and I can clarify something if you have maybe a misunderstanding on an assignment or whatnot. But it makes it super easy for us to talk together. Homework. I post my work in a couple different areas. I have planners, so you have to have a planner when you come in where you're going to write down your homework. Now, and you come into my room, in the whiteboard, inside my room, there's a big grid. And let me go ahead and just turn my camera on so you can see it. It's right there. You see those pieces of whiteboard? We have those strips of black tape that makes a checkerboard. Well, right there next to the door, that's where I write all the homework for the entire week, all right, when you come in on Monday. If I make any changes to that, I'll make you guys aware of it, and then you can kind of make an alteration to it. But when you come in first thing for the week, that's where you should be looking to write down your information. Now, additional to that, I also have a whiteboard like this next to the door. And on it, I have in class today, and then I tell you what we're doing today, and then I have a homework what to do. So even if like you missed first period or something's going on, or you walk out of the room and you forget to write your homework down, you can go and even just look at my door, and it's right there. And I also have it on my websites. I have two websites. For the beginning, I'll be posting on my school website, the Kyrene website, but I have shortened so you can get to it by using that tiny URL /Bertling6. That makes it really easy. Now, that's a little different than my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Bertling2. This is just Bertling6. Small variation. They'll take you to my webpage, and there you can find assignments posted. And I also have my own personal website. Now I'm waiting for them to unblock this so kids can have access to it here at school. Once that happens, I'll probably migrate a lot of my stuff over to that website because it's just a lot more user-friendly, more graphic, and it's a better system because for some reason, the school website, it takes you like 10 clicks to get somewhere. Whereas the Weebly, it's literally like a click and you're to the information you need to get to. It's much more user-friendly. So we'll probably migrate to that later on in the year. Homework on my boards, when you come in, I use color codes. If it's in blue, that's what we're doing today in class. Green, that's homework. And in red, I use that for tests, but I also use that for a category of like what's due this day. Simple. Board outside the room also uses those same colors. How I grade stuff, and grading in general. We have a couple big things. Projects, tests, and homework, classwork. Projects, I give you 3 days. Every day it's late, I'm going to take 10% off of it. After 3 days, it's a 0. It's just the consequences of it. If you're out, we do make accommodations. Like if you're sick or some emergency in the family, or if you have a planned family vacation ahead of time, and just everybody in the family is meeting up, it's understandable. When you come back, we'll figure things out. Because what our policy is for that is, and I'll just kind of skip the slide here. Policy for that is you receive 1 day for makeup for each day that you're absent. So if you're out a week, you get a week to come back and get it into me. Classwork. On homework and classwork, if you're late a day, it's 50%. If you're late 2 days, it's a 0. I have 160 students, basically. I cannot keep my sanity and have time with my family if I'm letting people trickle work in 3, 4, 5 a week late, and it piles up, and I have 20, 30, 40, 50 students pulling this with me. And each time I have to go through a whole chain of going into my grade book to just put one little grade in here, one little grade in there. It ends up taking a monster amount of time, and I can be sitting at a computer for a couple hours more than I should be. I want to spend that time with my family. So when it's due, make sure it just gets in when it's supposed to be in. Our weights. 80% of the weights, we're at 80-20 split. 80% goes to tests and quizzes and projects and lab reports. Those are the big guys. You miss one of those, it's going to hurt you, because there's not as many of those as there is classwork and homework. Classwork and homework account for 20%. There's more of those little assignments. However, some of you guys are really good at math going, well, hey, 80-20 split. If I kind of miss the classwork and homework here, it's not going to hurt my grade too much, whatever. You'd be surprised how many times I have someone with a 78 or a 79 or 89 or 88 or a 98 or a 99, and they're just this close to perfection, or they're this close to that next grade level bracket, and they miss it because they went, meh, classwork, homework, I can miss one. It's only 20%. You'll be surprised. It adds up, and it hits you right on those little areas, and it gets you. Avoid that situation altogether. Just get that work in on time and get it done. I've already talked about my personal website, about flipping, and why I do that for accommodating people. I'll have a slide up here if you kind of want to look at that and see it. It kind of goes through one of the reasons I do it. And again, this is my website here for my personal website. I'm going to go ahead and save some time and keep on going here. We talked about if you're absent, Pride Hour. Let's talk about Pride Hour. Pride Hour happens 4 times a week, and it's basically an extra hour I get every week with each one of my sections. If you're in the GATE section, I use this time to extend the curriculum, go a little further, maybe more time on a project, labs. If you're in general science, we do the same thing. I use this for extra time to go a little further and push the curriculum. Do an extra lab, or if we have more time on a project, or in either the GATE or just the general class for science, I'll use this time for accommodations if I feel that people aren't understanding something, if they're not getting it, to make sure that we're all on the same page. I'm going to skip that one just to save some time on it, but you can look at that. It just talks about what we're doing in the class. In general, you have to understand, it is a science class. However, we read, we write, we do math, we do social studies. There are historical figures we talk about in Science Report. We do all of the different domains that you're going to find. So just don't look at it as just being science. It's everything wrapped up together in one. I'd say of all the subjects, I think science probably does that more than anything, where it bridges the curriculum into other domains. So just kind of something to be aware of. Let's talk about what we're going to be learning this year. So in the first quarter, what we're going to get into is we're going to have safety and science tools and measurements, scientific method, and process skills. Then we're getting to plants and cells. And we'll talk about structures of cells and living systems. And we'll do the same thing going into plants. And we're going to compare and contrast these so you guys understand how they're different and how they're amazingly the same. Then we're going to second quarter. This is going to be the whole human body, all the systems. And we're going to understand those in detail. We have some really fun labs. I like to dissect chicken parts and you really get in there. And we're going to have the practice lab safety, So it's a lot of fun, but you're going to have to be safe with it and kind of go back to what you learned in the first quarter. Third quarter, we get into learning about the water cycle and weather, the layers of the atmosphere. And it sounds boring, but it's actually some pretty interesting stuff. We have some really cool labs in that one. And then we wrap things up at the end of the year looking at energy and forms of energy and ways the energy is transformed, where it's thermal, if it's wind, it's kinetic, and understanding the differences in the different types of energy. Now, to wrap things up, if you're in a GATE class, you're in an advanced class, we're going to do very similar things, but we're going to push it further. Things will be more granular. We're going to have more PBLs. We're going to have tougher tests. We're going to have bigger write-ups. We're going to just push the curriculum a little further. And I'm going to have a contract going home. So you understand that since you are going to be a GATE, that I'm going to hold you to a higher standard. We're going to have a little bit more work. But whether you're in general science, you're in GATE advanced classes, we are going to have a wonderful time this year. And we're going to learn so much from each other. And it's just going to be a really great way to start into middle school and then continue education. I look forward to seeing you guys all in class. Take care.